Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a swipe through my sketchbooks to find out which pages and things I use for my book. You heard that well. So, hi, my name is Patricia. I'm an artist and illustrator, and one of my goals this year of a video I just recorded like 5 minutes ago, I'm looking through these piles of sketchbooks that you're seeing here behind me because I want to compile a book of sketches and things like that. I'm really excited about this project. I'm thinking about kickstarting it when I somehow have a little bit of a more put together project, because right now it's all a bunch of hey, I want to do this. But yeah, I wanted to start looking through the sketchbooks, organizing my files a little bit, and if I have to scan all of that, I'm gonna need some patience and I'm gonna need some time. And I thought I'll bring you along with me so you can get bored with me. Yay! Two things right behind me, as I said, two piles of sketchbooks. So in this pile, 90% of the sketchbooks are finished from start to finish. All of this is my first sketchbook. This is not finished. This one is not finished, but it's kind of like 50%. Take two, because I'm incredibly clumsy and I just dropped my tiny little plant. And the thing about having real plants is that soil spreads to your whole desk. White. She's safe. Don't worry. Sorry if I lost my train of thought a little bit. I'll try to edit things out. Okay, so there are a couple of sketchbooks here that are not fully finished, but a good bunch of them are from start to finish. And these are actually sketchbooks that are halfway to nearly finished, most of them. This one is missing a few pages, but it was halfway finished. I pulled out the pages because I like the illustrations and I try to solve them on their own, which I might still do, but let me just divide the piles already. These sketchbooks are done from start to finish. This one is missing a few pages because it was for an Inktober, but the paper is so bad that I'm just never gonna finish it. I'm clear on that. You might think, oh, what a waste of paper, but yeah, the paper was already like recycled anyway, and I'm just missing like what, a few pages, yeah, 4 or 5, and it was just a nightmare to work on it, so I'd rather not do it. I had a really hard time that Inktober. I think I have a video about it if you're curious, but yeah, I had the good idea of making a sketchbook without testing the paper first. These are full of illustrations. Here is my first sketchbook ever. By the way, I'm gonna be careful with that because it's a little bit worn off, the poor thing. And these have a lot of things and a lot of pages that I actually really like. Then this was for a project that I might never finish, but I don't know what to do with the rest of the sketchbook. This was for an Inktober, and I used this paper for markers, and I quite like it. I'm thinking about picking up markers again, so I might just finish it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm planning on finishing this paper because it's not a bad paper. This is a Moleskine sketchbook. It is a watercolor sketchbook, and it's halfway through. I really like it, but the format bothers me a bit. The paper I really like. Yeah, I just never got the full hang of it. So I leave it for occasional studies, things like that. And there's this toned gray paper. I really wanted to try this out. It was an investment for me at the time because it was a little out of my price range, but I really enjoyed this paper, and it's almost finished. It's up until here. As you can see, it's just a little bit left. And it has a lot of wash studies for a course I was doing. It also at the beginning had a lot of pencil drawings when I was starting to. So those are sketchbooks for different projects that I think I might scan. I'm not so sure about this bottom one because this was supposed to be an ABC type of project where I drew one page for each letter, and I started and I got, I think, up to G, giraffe. It has a couple of things that I really like and has some others that at the time I was really proud of, but now I just don't think they're so cool anymore. But I don't know, it might be just fun to add them for the heck of it, or at least some, My little tiny self trying to get some watercolors on her life. This is the only sketchbook in this pile that is basically empty, except for the first 10 pages perhaps. What I want from this sketchbook book is to kind of reflect, my art, my growth, maybe even make it I don't know if I should even make it like chronologically, like sketches from the first part of my career, then move along as I go, or if I should just mix and match, so it's not like very ugly at the beginning and moving along to a little bit more cool. I don't know. I think I'll see that once I have things scanned out. So this is what we're working here physically. Then I have this part. These are sketchbooks that I use for finished pieces mostly. I rarely use any of these for just studies or things like that. This one I had a project, the paper is very thin, I just wanted to use it for something, and I had the 100 somethings project, and I wanted to draw 100 witches with line art to get out a coloring book at some point. But I didn't love the paper, it's so thin. This is just a very cheap sketchbook. I think my boyfriend gave it to me because he found it around, thought I might like it. Here are some other things, like my first black sketchbook. This is empty basically because I ripped out most of the pages that I did here. And then here are a couple of watercolor sketchbooks that Etcher sent to me for a review. And again, there are only like 3 or 4 pages painted on this. Not because I don't like the paper, just basically because I haven't been using watercolors much lately. I think I might want to scan a few of these to just add to the book. Maybe this is wishful thinking, but I'm kind of hoping that if I look through the books, I might feel inspired to use my sketchbooks again, because I've been meaning to. And this is my first toned sketchbook that I got when I got the black sketchbook. And again, a lot of the pages that I really enjoyed were ripped out, but there's also really cool pages that I still really like that I think I would like to have in the book. And also I feel like different colors of backgrounds and things will give the book a little bit more interest. These are my sketchbooks through the years, as you can see, but I've also started using digital like somehow between my second and my third sketchbook. At first I only used it for like painting finished things. And then eventually I noticed that I really like to sketch in digital because it allowed me to do crazy things, like maybe put on a darker background and sketch with white. Things that I could do, of course, in the black paper, but it was not exactly the same because you don't have the same flexibility. You can't sketch on a blue background with a neon pink thing, you know, things like that. Sometimes it was just for me to get actually used to, you know, moving around with the tablets and all of that, giving me more control, which helped. But I started doing these like spreads that for me were like a sketchbook page. So I will open a canvas that will be like a page, like an A4 perhaps, and do little sketches and fill it up. So I have a lot of those. I have some other things like color comps. It was just useful for me sometimes to have to do this little sketch quickly and then move it along to a bigger canvas, but still leave the original sketch in the sketchbook spread page. The plan is to compile all of that slowly, because I know this is gonna take some time. Let's scan all of that. I don't know when this video is gonna be out, but I got a new printer for sublimation, but it actually has like a bigger scanner, which allows me to maybe scan things more than one at a time. Like for example, I could scan several of these sketchbooks at a time. I don't know, I have to test it because I haven't tested the scan yet. But I want to test out some scanning. I don't know if I'm going to do it today or later, but whenever I do, I'll record some footage and show you and maybe talk you through a little bit of the things. I just kind of wanted to bring you along for this and make a proper video, because the previous one was more like goals for the year. Here's what I want to do, this and this, for just this project, and I'm hoping to document it here through YouTube a little bit, bring you along. Maybe I could help you with whatever things I learned along the way. Mostly I feel like this is a passion project of mine. I would really love to have this in my hands, but I will also love if people will love it, obviously, because I'm an artist, and although I have another job, I would really like to live just out of making my own art and my own products. So if people will buy my book, enjoy my book, be inspired by my book, and actually like it as I do with other books that I have, it will mean so much to me. Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping now. Let's get to work. Okay, so I have a whole setup up here, so you can see my sketchbook, so you can see me, and so we can talk about sketchbooks. Okay, so let's reorder them. So I'm gonna start with the tan sketchbook and the black sketchbook, because these sketchbooks I always intended to use as extra sketchbooks to rip out pages and things like that, because what I wanted to have tan paper and I wanted to have black paper. So actually the tan sketchbook and the black paper, I even ripped up some pages to do the thick this sketchbook. So some of these pages are even here. But yeah, that's why this sketchbook is kind of half empty, is because a lot of the pages I ripped off. So let's start with this one, because it actually has some cool things from a while back. And the black one barely has anything because I ripped everything off. Okay, let's start with this one. So let's see. Make sure that you can see it here. Okay, so this was the first page. I bought these sketchbooks, this and the black one, when I was in the UK a while back as an au pair, and I was starting to draw more from imagination. So I was starting to experiment a lot more. I had a little money to invest in some art supplies and things, so I started trying to experiment with things. So this girl is kind of cool. Then I wanted to draw a bastet and wanted to try some, I think this was a golden highlighter or something. I wanted to try it out, see how that will look. Let me make sure you see it in here. I was also learning a little bit to draw proportions and bodies, and I remember I did the initial sketch and she was much shorter and unproportioned, so I think this is not badly done for someone that was learning anatomy at that moment. Not terrible. This one was a little later on my life. There's a nip here, so I have to cover it for YouTube's sake, but this is also kind of cool. I actually like it. Most of these are not something I'll be like, oh my god, I love them, I'm gonna do a full piece on it, but I like them good enough to show and to have in a sketchbook book. Here I was actually on purpose pushing proportions on the legs and all. I know the anatomy is not perfect, but I actually really like how I pushed it. Let me cover this until okay. And then some fan art. I think I was doing something for Instagram fan art related, so I did Logan here. Here's from, I forgot the name of the movie, Blade Runner, sorry. This hand is a little weird because I purposely didn't paint the interior, and yeah, I can see his fingers are being a little odd. So, but if you take off the hand, I don't dislike her. I was doing a lot of these in here because I liked how it looked. The mix of markers with ink, because I love inking line art and all of that. So I was doing a lot of this. And you can see Wednesday, again, another very weird hand. I think this is why I never loved this drawing. Well, also the face. I don't love the face. Okay, I love Bewitched. I've seen it many times. Still kind of a comfort show, but I've rewatched it somehow recently, and that time I got a little tired because it does get repetitive. And I wanted to do something with Samantha. Right now I don't love it, but I remember liking it really a lot when I did it. So yeah, witches are people too. I always liked this one. Now it's grown a little less on me, but I remember liking it so much the first time that I did it, because again, I was really enjoying this pen. I don't remember, I think I have it around. I think it's a Kuretake pen. The line art that I could get with it was really nice because I could do these thin lines and these thick lines just with the same pen, and I was enjoying it so much. So I like this girl. She's not perfect by any means, but I really like the vibes. Okay, so we have another nip here that I have to cover. Okay, here I was actually doing a study. I was trying to emulate the style of, oh, I don't remember. I'll search for him and I'll put his name on the screen. But he does these portraits of women that I've always loved. He does it with acrylics and it's gorgeous. So I was emulating his style. So I actually think that this face, she wasn't a vampire or anything, but I think the face I basically copied it because I was studying his art. So I copied it from a drawing he had to emulate his style of faces because I loved it so much. And I actually wanted to emulate too the line art that he uses with the acrylics and all of that. So I was studying that, and I really love how she turned out. And I think I learned a lot out of it. So it was really enjoyable. And I kind of did it as she was melting and she was a vampire because I love drawing vampires. What can you do? I'm going to show it to you a little bit better. Yeah. Moving along. Okay, this girl was done like much later. I wanted to go back to this style. I think, okay, this has a date, 2018. I think this seems to be 2018 too. Yeah, but I think it was like half a year later. I hadn't touched pen so much, and I was like, I want to go back. Most of them started as a sketch, but I was trying to do complete pieces here. So I think some of these spread out through the book will look really nice. And I really like her face. She looks really cool to me. I wanted to incorporate something that wasn't just a girl, because that's what I usually draw. So I did these big monstera leaves around her and with the white thing and flowers on her hair, and suddenly she looks very Spanish, very typical Spanish that you see in the movies when they're not doing a lot of research and they just think that all women in Spain wear red dresses and dance. So this girl, I don't remember what she was. I think I was probably using a reference photo. I don't love her. I don't really care much for her. It's fine. Then I was doing a course, and you will see that in another sketchbook. But yeah, I was doing a course and I tried it in this paper, but I didn't enjoy it. So here it is. Okay, I remember some more pieces, but yeah, I think I pulled them out because of portfolio. So I don't know if I should look for them and put them here so I can scan it all together. And if I do that, should I show them to you? Probably should. Give me a sec. Okay, the good thing is I know where they are because I use them for portfolio in my convention. So this is my convention portfolio. That's the other way around, where I have my prints, but I also have some originals. So I'm actually gonna pull out the ones for the black sketchbook, so I can show them to you all around there. What I have out here is probably the ones that I liked most, or that I thought would be attractive for someone watching my portfolio. I've pulled out quite a few pieces, in fact. So in no particular order, because I don't remember how they were in here. But I do have this Jessica Rabbit piece that I redid her a while back, like a year or so back, and I like her so much better. But I was still very proud of this at that point, so it's fine. I really love this piece. It was very random. I asked my brother, give me 2 things and I will do a drawing. So he said water and books, and I drew a character, right? And I wanted to do a character based on those 2 things. So he gave me the things that he thought it would be more complicated to do, and I thought of this, and I actually still like it. It's not a drawing I will frame or anything, but it's a drawing I like, you know. Then we have Lydia here, very on brand right now, that Beetlejuice has just came back. I don't love that much this drawing. I think it's okay, and I like to have varied fan art in my portfolio too, apart from my normal pieces. So that's why I had that one in my portfolio. This one, I just really loved it the first time that I did it. This was at the beginning of the book, by the way, because it was one of the first ones. I don't have a date here, but it was one of the first ones. And I redrew her not too long ago. It's actually the finished image that I use here on YouTube is her redrawn. But yeah, this is a character that I liked so much when I created her, because she was from imagination and I was so proud. And it was the first thing that felt like I had a little bit of a style. So that's why I hold her dear in my heart. She looked a little Japanese to me, and as I go to a lot of Japan weekends, I thought, you know, let's put it in the portfolio. I like her. I don't love her. There were a lot of things that I noticed wrong with her when I did her, and I think that's why I didn't particularly love it, but I think it's fine. I think it's an okay sketch. And this piece I loved so much when I did it, and I enjoyed it so much. It was completely from my imagination, and I was just completely blown away that I could do something like this at that point in my life. But yeah, again, this is the technique with markers and in the tone paper. I just really was enjoying that. And last but not least is Matilda. I still like this piece. I think I could redo it and make it better. I just haven't bothered to, because, you know, there is something wrong with her eyes, obviously, but I still like her anyway. So these are all the pieces from the beige sketchbook. As I said, some of the pieces I pulled out not only for this, but also for, you know, because I wanted to use the papers outside of this and for the other sketchbook and things like that. So this is why it's a little bit more empty. But actually, if you pull off all of these pieces and some of the pieces that I have in other sketchbooks done in this paper, I probably have like half this sketchbook halfway through, and I didn't even notice that. Sketchbook 1 out of the way, let's move on to sketchbook 2. Okay, see, even the first piece I have out, basically because I needed to scan it and I couldn't do it in the sketchbook. I just wasn't able to if I didn't pull it out. So this is a piece that I never finished. I had so many ideas to it, but I just didn't like how it was coming out. I was not making it work as I used to make this work. And by that time, I think I was already a little tired, because the first time that I did this, I was like, oh my god, you can use acrylics in such a fun way, because I never loved acrylics too much. I didn't feel it, I didn't enjoy it. So I think it's probably one of the few pieces that I have around. I think I only have like 4 or 5 that I never finished. But this is a sketchbook, so things like that happen. It's just that sometimes I took these sketchbooks as I had to have finished pieces in here, and that's why, you know, sometimes I felt frustrated. Still, I didn't pull it off, just in case one day I wanted to either revisit the idea with a different medium or whatever, or I don't know, just finish it. This I really like. She's really fun. She was draw this in a new style. This is 2019, I'm seeing. Most of the pieces of the other one were 2018, but here I was like moving along to another thing. I think this is wash. This is when I got my big wash from Arteza. I think I have a review over here in my YouTube channel in case you want to check it out. So yeah, this was a draw this in a new style. I don't remember the artist right now, but I really enjoyed her. I had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun of playing with wash, because it did what I wanted the acrylic to do in the other pieces much more easily. So and here is, I think, just one, yeah, just one, from when I was doing like a landscape course with wash and all. So I wanted to try different backgrounds, so I did it in tan paper and then in black paper. As you can see, I usually wrote the week, like week 8, and the time that it took, because it was supposed to be painting from life, so the time that you should dedicate to it shouldn't be over an hour. So that's what I tried to do. I used mostly photos because I didn't want to go plein air painting. Then some other things that I've actually took off from here, the pages that I have in my portfolio. I had a lot of fun when I discovered that I could use wash this way, because I really took it hard. I had a class in university where I was taught how to use wash, and the rules and the things were so strict that made me really hate wash. Like, I was like confused. I never wanted to overuse it. You know, those rules are actually okay and they make sense somehow, but they limit your creativity so much. And you know what they say, learn the rules and then break them. And when I started using wash this way, I was marveled. I loved it, and I don't know why. This only worked for pieces that I wouldn't normally do. Like, it didn't work for a painting of a woman for me. It just worked for things like subjects like this rabbit, or I did a cat skull that I don't know where it is actually. Oh, I think it's in the sketchbook. Or then this bee. And people actually seem to love it a lot when I posted these on my Instagram. I had a lot of fun with this bee. Like, I don't know, I had a lot of fun with these pieces. I really, really enjoyed them. This is a little older. This was from when I was still in the UK, from the first drawings that you saw on the other one too, the same time. This was acrylics as well. And as you can see, at this point, I really enjoyed this sort of look. I still love this piece, just because it was such a different thing that I could do at that point. I didn't feel like I could be able to draw this way. And for example, I really, really love how the horns came out. I just love it. The face not so much, but I still love the concept. I still really like her when I see her as a whole. So these ones were much later, and I had a lot more control, and I think with wash I could have achieved a lot of more things with her. I also noticed that I gave her an extra finger a little while after I was painting. I was already almost done with the painting when I noticed it. And there's nothing more in this sketchbook. As you can see, these big sketchbooks, also this too that I'm going to show you next, I've always used more as I wanted to have finished pieces in them, more than sketches. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just do it like that. I decorated the sketchbook because I really wanted to have have it more personalized. I had a lot of stickers around. I had this from Jamila's book. I had a couple from Lois's book when I received it. I had this gorgeous big sticker from Miss Basic, and I love her work. I had a couple of mine to filling up the space, and then I had these 3 stickers from a friend that I met in conventions, exchange stickers. And and this one is hers too. This is gorgeous as well. I'm gonna leave their names of the stickers and all of that in the screen in case you want to check the artists out. So let's start with this one. And these ones were 2 gifted sketchbooks from Etcher, so I could try them out and show them to you. And I was not expecting to like this one with this texture so much, but I've enjoyed it a lot. Usually I don't like sketchbooks with a lot of texture because I like to use inks for the line art, and that, you know, it just damages the fine liners a lot. But I really like how the effects of the watercolor come out in this paper. They look really, really pretty. These are also Etcher watercolors, and they look gorgeous. I have the review up here in YouTube. This was for Inktober. I'm going to show you this page first so I don't have to turn it. So as you can see, this is like for a list called Women of Horror that I really like to follow and do some pieces to, and they had so many topics that I liked. Like, I love this movie. I love it so much. I have so much fun with this movie. I rewatch it every once in a while. I love Dracula, of course, and you know, I drew here Ophelia from Pan's Labyrinth, or El Laberinto del Fauno, because it's actually recorded in Spain. So yeah, I love creepy stuff. And the last one here is from a course I did for Etcher as well, because they had me review their platform. They let me choose 3 courses, and I did 3, and this was actually the one that I enjoyed the most. I had a lot of fun. And as you can see, this book is empty, which is a shame because the paper is actually lovely, but I'm not used to work on sketchbooks, watercolor sketchbooks, and I just don't want to ruin them. I have this mentality, like, the big sketchbooks are for finished cool pieces, you know, and if I want I can cut them out or whatever. But yeah, a lot of these pieces I really like, but as you can see, there's only 3 and it's a huge sketchbook, so there's a lot of potential things to come up here, but I can still scan these and add them. These don't look like actual sketchbooks because they do look a little too finished, but I'm going to show you the raw ones next. Okay, so again, this was for a course. I think this one was 2, yeah, for the course on Etcher. I was mostly sure that I will enjoy this paper much more, but then turned out that I didn't love it as much. It's actually a really nice paper too, but I love the effects that the watercolor got on the other ones. And this page I had empty, so, and one time that a friend came over and let me try some of her watercolors. She had really cool colors. I tried it on this page. So this is just a quick sketch. She's not bad, she's okay. Not my favorite. And then this was a piece that I did actually before of the other one. Again, for, you know, Inktober. The Grand Witch, obviously Angelica Houston, not the new one. I haven't seen the new one, to be honest. I'm not very, I don't know, didn't call my attention too much. And this was also after doing the other course because I enjoyed it, so I kind of wanted to draw a building, and I drew the Bridgerton's building, as you can see. And I actually really enjoyed the process of this. It was more fun than I expected. Sometimes, like, just switching up your subjects, because with things you don't usually do, can be really refreshing if you're feeling stuck, and I enjoyed this a lot. I love the building whenever it will show on screen, and I was like, I need to draw this. The contrast with the purple flowers and all of that, really nice. So here's the finish of this sketchbook. As I said, again, too many things to come in this sketchbook, but I will still scan it, maybe use it. And now we're moving on to the most sketchy sketchbooks. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with the ones that are almost empty, which is this one again, and this one in the back, I think, yes. These again were not sketchbooks that I used as sketchbooks. They were sketchbooks that I used for like a project, so they don't look like the other ones either. But yeah, this one was one that I used because I was thinking of doing a project called 100 somethings. I have an article about it and all, I can link it down below, and a video too. And my idea, you can see that I put a 1, I was going to hide like the numbers on them. I was going to draw on 100 witches, but I wanted to get out of product out of it, so my idea was to get out a coloring book. That's why, either that or to color these later. So I wanted to do something with the line art that is really nice. Also, this paper is really thin. That's why I didn't use it for anything else. This was because I didn't know what to use it for. And yeah, what I wanted to do is really clean line art so I could scan it later and paint it. And in fact, I did. I will show you. I have a few stickers out of these 3 first ones. I really like this one. And as you can see, I put a 2 there. This one I have colored as well, and as a sticker. I still really love her. And then this one, number 3. This I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the process of these 3. And then from here on, I was feeling like very out of ideas. I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna draw 100 of these? And I don't know if I got overwhelmed or what, but suddenly later after this one, I just didn't feel like I liked any of them. I drew this one, I was like, okay. But I mean, then I was also thinking, if I'm gonna draw 100, there's bound to be a few that I don't like. It's okay. A few, 50, however. Then this one, and I also didn't like her. Like, I mean, she's okay, but I don't know, there's something with her eyes. She just seems like she's possessed. I put a page below it because I felt like it's so thin that it's gonna pass. But as you can see, there's nothing else. So I've made it to 5. I think I did a couple more sketches that I was going to translate here, but I didn't. So this is a sketchbook that I don't know what to do with, and it's been there ever since. I don't think I'm gonna continue the 100 Witches project. I have no idea, but I don't think so. Hello everyone, Editing Patricia over here. It's been over a year since I recorded this, and I finally edited this monstrosity of a video. It's over an hour, so I'm cutting this into 2 parts. Half-an-hour parts already seem like a lot for YouTube and the new trends and the short attention span, but I had to do it. The next part will come in the next video, which will be, as usual, in 2 weeks. I'm trying to get back into the routine. So if you like this video, please stay tuned for that one where I show the rest of my sketchbooks. And yeah, I'm gonna go record the intro for a new video that I didn't expect to cut into. I hope you enjoyed the sketchbook tours so far. I'm not really sure where I'm gonna cut it, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!